Hey, also, I just want to share, like, not to make my fucking videos take a depressing incline, or decline, or incline, I guess, however you choose to see it. I mean, gradually becoming more depressing in terms of content, but, I gotta say, I'm very much let down by the university experience. I mean, it's partially because it was so hyped up by my parents. Like, my parents went to one of the best schools in the country, definitely the best in the province, huge campus. And they're like, this is going to be a life-changing experience. You're going to meet new people who will be friends for the rest of your lives. Like, most of my dad's friends are from college. Like, he actually went to school with Gabor Mate. Actually, I shouldn't say it because that gives away information about me. But anyways, and it also tells you my dad is quite old. He had me when he was about 50. But in any case, yeah, no, I gotta say I'm really let down. Like I enjoy that my professor. He's accommodating enough to let me interact with him during his lectures. Like, I essentially have an ongoing dialogue throughout the whole class. I'm the only one who fucking talks out of everyone there during the class. I mean, I get it. Some people are introverted, don't want to talk. That's fine. But, like, I made so many attempts to try and work with people, stuff like this. And, like for example, I told them the story about me talking my way out of getting mugged. And as an example, I was like to the guy who, and this guy's like twice my size. He's only here because he needs an elective for fucking physio. He doesn't give a fuck about psychology. He just sleeps through the classes. He's clearly gonna fail. But like, in any case, like, I was really nice to this guy at first, despite him never attempting to interact with me or even looking at me. Like, I asked him, why are you here? What do you hope to do with your life, kind of thing. And so I was telling the story to him outside of the classroom, and I was like, because the guy who tried to mug me, he had a kukri, which was a little blade. It's about 2.5 inches, but they can seriously do some damage. But technically, what's legal to carry in the city is anything that's 4.5 inches or less. So my blade was, very much legal. I had bought it legally. When I was tossed in my face by the cops, they gave it back to me because it was legal. And so I was like, I have a knife that's very similar. Mine's a folding blade. His was a straight edge one. Do you want me to show you it so you know what I'm talking about? Because he didn't know what a kukri was. And he was like, yeah, I want to see what it looks like. So I show it to him. Guess what? He tells the professor that I have a knife and he doesn't feel safe on campus anymore. So, fuck, I get barraged with emails from people talking about campus safety and blah 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 blah. Like, what do they think I'm gonna do? Go around fucking start stabbing people? Like, I try to be the nicest guy. I think I am the nicest guy except for my professor, because no one else fucking does anything. Like, I'm doing other people's work for them, essentially. So because of that, as a 27-year-old man, almost 28, I am not allowed to bring a 2.5 fucking pocket knife with me anymore onto campus, or any knife for that matter. Like, this is school for adults? I find it excuse me, stupid and, like, frivolous, to be completely frank. Like, how I view knives, and I have a massive knife collection. It's probably worth about $2,500, and they're mostly folding blades, just because I really, really like certain blades that have unique craftsmanship. Like the one that I brought with me that day was really cool. It's a CRKT. I would show it to you now, but I can't bring one on campus. It's a CRKT and it's about that big and it has a big ring on the end of it. So if I ever was to use it as a weapon, I would use it like a knuckle duster. I'd be like, boom, knock someone out with it, as opposed to, stabbing someone. I've been stabbed. It sucks. I would never fucking want to do that to anyone else ever. And the whole point of my story was that I am someone who, like I even said these words exactly. This is why diplomacy is something that should come before violence, even when you feel like you're facing, like you're 2 seconds away from serious harm, like, dude letting off a can of bear spray in a fucking A&W washroom, which is tiny as fuck. It would have sucked for both of us, and I've been directly bear sprayed in the eyes, and it was like, completely incapacitated me. Screaming, rolled into a fetal position, and that stuff, like it stained my skin, my eyes for days. Like, it was a traumatizing experience. But still, despite, I had my hand on this knife thing, not on the knife itself, but on the loop, because I was like, if this guy is gonna try something, I'm gonna fucking, I was gonna hit him right here, because if he cracked the jaw hard enough, you hit the jaw hard enough so it essentially snaps to the other side, that'll just knock someone out. And usually it'd be non-fatal, but with the heavy chunk of metal that this knife has on it, it may chip a tooth or something. But hey, if you're coming at me with a knife and bear spray, then I gotta do what I gotta do, fucking. But I didn't have to do that because I'm a civil human being, so I talked my way out of it. That was the fucking point of the story. But this guy made a scandal of it. And he's clearly not scared of me or anything. It was like he just did it for attention. And for my project, I'm working on essentially what is going to be using either it started with wanting to use the Stanford prison experiment as a case study, and then explaining how the different types of psychology would regard, what's happening there, what the takeaways are, what the flaws of the study are, because there are lots of flaws in that study. But we found out there are so many flaws that it wouldn't serve as an actual case study. So I went with Calhoun's rat utopia experiment, which is a very fascinating experiment in itself, but then for a non-experiment, which is essentially just something that's happened in real life, something that we can just observe in, say, history. That's an example of a non-experiment. So I'm going to use either Stanford prison experiment or Abu Ghraib, because the idea is, or the theme of this is going to be, authoritarian perceptions of power and how they change people versus, submissive perceptions of self and stature. And honestly, these are some of the easier studies I found when in my research, if not the easiest by far, I would say. But I was when the project was first optioned, I was brooding over the stupid knife thing. And since no one fucking talks to each other here, I try to talk to other people, but they very awkwardly will say 2 sentences, and their body language is just screaming, I don't want to talk to you or anyone else. I don't want to fucking be just a pest, so I fuck off, of course. But I was just I had no real desire to, especially since I feel like I'm the only one contributing to the actual classes, I had no desire to actually do a project with anyone else. But then this touching moment happened where 2 people who, I think actually care about psychology or actually there to learn psychology came up to me and were like, they're like, you seem to know what you're doing. We want to do a project with you because we find this interesting too, and we can tell no one else does, and you do. And so it's great. But the thing is, most of my students are foreign students, and English is the second language, so I think it just became too complex for them. So even though I've done the vast majority of or actually no, I've done everything myself so far, but like I pretty much completed it. I just have to now format it. Like I did it before the project was, like before they even told us to start working on it. The day after it was announced, I found all the citations I needed for the Stanford prison experiment, like credible citations. But I just wanted other people to do well and pass, so I was like, I don't care if I do all the work. If that means they can get good marks, because it's the majority of the grade is the project, I'll let them tag along. But yeah, one dropped out about a week ago for the reason of it being just too complex to process for them, I guess. Too much verbiage or whatever. And then the other one dropped out too because, I don't know, they just don't feel like they know. Well, I mean, they said the same thing. I said it's too complex for them, but I told them, you know, like, these legitimately are, when you look at actual, like, scientific psychology case studies, these are some of the simplest and some of the easiest to pick apart. But yeah, I gotta say, man, I gotta go back to class now. I'm just on break, killing time, but the experience so far has been a bit of a letdown, I gotta say. Not that I'm trashing education. I think everyone should have education. I wish it was, freely available to people, but we're a long way from that. Also, they've just been terrible with the disability accommodations. My professor, on the other hand, has been wonderful at going out of his own way to do it, but that shouldn't be on his head. With all the amount of stuff that I've filed, all the papers I've filled out and faxed and emailed, and work I've done, and over the last 6 weeks, almost every day for hours, they haven't managed to process and finalize a single fucking thing. But I don't want this fucking student loan or anything like that, because I've never been in debt in my life, and I never want to. I've never owned a credit card. I never want to. I'm not the most responsible spender in the world, so I just think for the good of myself, it's better not to. And they did offer me a lot of money because I have a lot of disabilities that are legitimately diagnosed, but I don't know, I just don't think it could be a good idea. Anyways, I gotta head back. I'll talk to y'all soon. I'm probably gonna be making more videos than I usually do when I feel well, because I don't know, I'm just going through a stressful phase, and it just helps to do this. So I hope I'm not annoying the hell out of everyone. That note, bye-bye.